I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. Welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast Show. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? Today is January 9th, 2023. And tonight on Coffee Talk Podcast, we bring you Black excellence. Tonight we reflect on the beautiful actress, Miss LENA HORNE. We will also read a poem by Mr. LANGSTON HUGHES, poet. So with that being said, welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. All right. Hey, it's past the new year. And you know what I think about when it gets past the new year? I think about, damn, it's almost springtime. And I start to smile. Because I'm not a winter person. I'm not. Yes, I live in the Midwest. Yes, I've been here all my life. Yeah, I've traveled, but I mean, this is home. And no, I don't like the snow. I don't. We just never could get into it. You know, I got a story. The story goes like this. I was in kindergarten one day, right? And we had recess. And as we were preparing to go out for recess, one of the last children to come out the door, all bundled up, ready to go enjoy my recess in the winter. And as soon as I opened the door, smack, right in the face, I got hit with a snowball. And I never liked snow. No. Lady once asked me, "Are you going to take your kids sledding?" No. Like snow. Yeah. But that's just my story. How are y'all doing today? Again, this is M.SABA. Y'all can call me MISHUMA, or the ladies can. But yeah, so listen. How is your day? How is your day? That's what I want to know. That's what we want to know. Because here at Coffee Talk Podcast, before we jump into the flavor, we want to just make sure that you are good, or you are also being heard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having this fight with myself about saying on a scale of 1 through 10. And I'm going to tell you why. Because 1 is a good number to me, especially if you follow mathematics, right? But when I'm doing this survey of how you doing today, and I'm saying 1 through 10, I catch myself saying 1 being the least and 10 being the greatest. And it just makes me feel kind of weird, you know, because I don't look at numbers that way. They're all good, you know. But let's go ahead, for the sake of measure, let's go ahead and say, from a scale of 1 through 10, how is your day going? 10 being excellent, good day, great, can't complain, sucker free, and 1 being, man, I need to start over tomorrow, and we'll understand. You know what I'm saying? So let me know on a scale of 1 through 10, how's your day going today? For me, I'm having an out-of-body experience. I'm already at Wednesday because that's what they call that, hump day. And I'm just trying to get the week over. And it's only, what, Monday? What's today? Yeah, Monday. So I'm just trying to get already over with. But On a scale of 1 through 10, I say I'm about an 8 today. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Not much on my mind, but creativity. So I just want to create, and be around positive people and be around people that are willing to share information, because information is what continues growth. Whereas if we shut information down, then we all hurt one another, as a community, as a village. You know. So those are just my thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and just dive on into the show. If this is your first time tuning into the show, we are a cultural variety podcast. We appear 3 days a week, and on Sunday, Monday, alternate nights, such as tonight, we like to give you what we call our cultural studies night. So on cultural studies night, we like to give you everything that represents Black excellence. We may read a poem. We may read a paragraph out of one of our great books. We may go ahead and just give props to our doctors, our lawyers, our scholars, our people all over the world. That's what we do on cultural studies night. On Wednesdays is our sports night, but we're not your typical sports show. We don't care about who won or lost. We like to talk about the different intricacies that's going on behind the scenes in the world of sports. So that's what we do on Wednesdays. And on Friday, alternate Saturday nights, we like to go ahead and let our hair down. I don't have no hair, but don't talk about it. So we like to let our hair down. It's been a long work week. We like to be grateful for our health and grateful that we made it through the week. So we like to get together, play 10-question Q&A. We have guests on the show. We like to just have a good time. So that's what we do here at Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And I'm happy to have you here today. So thank you. Big props to our supporters and our viewers that tune in to Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the show. If this is the first time tuning into the show, we never start our show without getting into its flavor as well as its wise word. So tonight's flavor is Panama Geisha coffee. That's right, Panama Geisha coffee. It's a medium roast. And the history on Panama coffee is that Panama was grown, it didn't start to grow in that area until 1960. Geisha coffee actually has its origins in Ethiopia. Okay, so definitely we just want to give that history. It's widely considered the best tasting coffee in the world. You know what I'm saying? For its jasmine aroma. So definitely today's flavor is Panama Geisha coffee. All right. Now, jumping into our wise words before we begin our show. Our wise word is from somebody in our community. Definitely an international presence, but when I say somebody in my community, I literally mean that. This man went to college right down the road from my home, literally less than 5-10 minutes. This man here graduated from Macalester College. This man here made it to the international levels of Secretary General of the United Nations. He was born April 18th in the Gold Coast, now called Ghana, back in 1938. April 18th, 1938. And he went to the Essence on August 18th, 2018. He's one of ours. He is an ancestor. He is a writer. He is the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations. No other than Kofi Annan. That's right, Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan's wise words is clear. Thank you. Kofi Annan's wise words is this. Kofi states, knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society, in every family. These are the wise words of Kofi Annan. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So how you doing? Let me know. Go ahead and leave a comment. Hit the like button. Share the video. Call your friends and let them know. Hey, remember that podcast I was telling you about? Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show? Man, it's on right now. Turn to YouTube. While you get it on, you got to go ahead and type in Coffee Talk Podcast with MISHUMA SABA. With who? MISHUMA SABA. Well, that's what he calls himself, or he says M. SABA. But his show is dope. Go ahead and tune in, man. The Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast Show. Well, how you spell it? Mishu. Is that what people be doing? But you definitely can find us at YouTube right now, live. All you have to put in is MISHUMA SABA, or actually Coffee Talk Podcast with MISHUMA SABA. You can find us and you can subscribe, hit the like button, and tune in 3 times a week. All right, so listen, we're going to go ahead and get into the big course of the meal of our show. A woman that is highly recognized as one of the most beautifulest women to ever grace the planet. This woman is a dancer, civil rights activist, vocalist in jazz, swing, and traditional pop. Did I mention she's an extraordinary actress? Tonight, Coffee Talk Podcast likes to present a reflection of one of our own. I like to call her Mother Queen. And she's just a beautiful woman. Her name is Miss LENA HORNE. Miss LENA HORNE. Miss LENA HORNE was actually born on June 30th, 1970. She's from Bed-Stuy, New York, Harlem. She went to the Essence on May 9th, 2010. One of Miss LENA HORNE's classic recordings is no other than Stormy Weather, the legendary Lena, from 1941 through 1958. It's a disc. And this is where Lena is singing with a studio orchestra. This was released in 1990, and it's one of her most classic recordings. It was released by Bluebird RCA, and you actually can get it on CD. Some of my thoughts when I think back about about the beautiful Mother Queen, LENA HORNE, is the very first time that I seen her. I've seen her on black and white films. But outside of black and white films, we saw her make an appearance on The Cosby Show, or at least that's when I've seen her. And she had this very smooth, soothing, and Harlem confidence, swag, and beautiful, beautiful voice. I can imagine, just looking back in those times, how every man would want this woman. I remember her and Dorothy Dandridge being some of the biggest actresses of that time, of that golden era. As I stated, Lena Horne had a beautiful voice, a feminine demeanor, and at first glance, you would fall for her. I say that respectfully, obviously. I remember seeing her on the Cosby Show, and I could imagine, I just really could imagine how men would just, be captured in her essence. Lena Horne's career spans 70 years. Lena was part of the chorus line for the Cotton Club. So she used to perform in the Cotton Club in NYC. Her first on-screen performance was starring with Cab Calloway. Adi, 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 adi. Odi, 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 oh. Let's give it. Gotta definitely check out that. If you ever get a chance to check out a Cab Calloway video, it's gonna be in black and white, but you're gonna see them brothers wearing some of the most coldest zoot suits. You're gonna see dancers, orchestra. Might even see Miss Lena Horne. I'm sure you will. Miss Lena Horne was a civil rights activist. She once was performing for the troops, and she was performing for white German POWs and black soldiers. But at the beginning of her performance, she noticed that all the black soldiers were required to sit in the back of the audience, of the auditorium. Miss Lena Horne refused to perform. Miss Lena Horne walked off the stage, walked through the crowd to all the black troops and her friendly German PFWs. And with her back to the German PFWs, and she was front and center in front of the black soldiers, she began to sing eloquently for those black soldiers. How dare you put our black soldiers in the back of an auditorium when they're fighting for this country? This was the least Miss Lena Horne could do, and she did a lot more. As I stated, Miss Lena Horne's career goes back 70 years, and she performed well into the 90s. She had retired in the 90s, but came back in 1998, and she took on a Broadway musical where she starred in a one-woman show. The show was titled The Lady and Her Music, and she had 300 shows on Broadway. Some of Miss Lena Horne's highlights are she worked with Eleanor Roosevelt in attempts to pass an anti-lynching law. Do y'all know that the anti-lynching law was just passed in 2022? She attended an NAACP rally with Medgar Evers a week before he was assassinated. Did you know back in 2003, Janet Jackson was scheduled to play Miss Lena Horne in a biographical film? However, we never got to see it because Hollywood took that away from Janet Jackson, that opportunity, because of the wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl with Justin Timberlake. Miss Lena Horne is one of our greatest performers, civil rights activists, dancers. And here at Coffee Talk Podcast, we just wanted to honor her tonight. Let her know that even in passing, we still appreciate her and the time that she gave us. And so here at Coffee Talk Podcast, this is our reflection of Miss Lena Horne. All right, so we're open for questions. What is your thoughts on Miss Lena Horne? One of the most beautiful women to grace the stage and the screen. Civil rights activist, Black excellence. You know, she was around when Dorothy Dandridge was around. When did you come familiar with Miss Lena Horne? Did you used to hear some of her jazz songs when she would sing at your grandmother's homes, your big mother's homes, your mother's homes, possibly your father's homes? Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on Miss Lena Horne. What about, did you see the episode when she made an appearance on the Cosby Show? Again, Black excellence, the flavor. Tonight, we were discussing Miss Lena Horne. And now what we're going to do is get ready to go into our next segment. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and give you a 30-second commercial break. And when we return, we're going to go ahead and go over the poem, I Too Sing America by poet Langston Hughes. See you in 30 seconds. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show, and I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our cultural variety podcast show. If you're just tuning in, we just completed our first segment of the night where we discussed Miss Lena Horne. You'll definitely be able to see pictures of Miss Lena Horne if you go ahead and want to just go on Google and look at images of her, or you can actually see pictures that we post on our website as well. So definitely take a look at Black excellence. That's what we do here. We bring you the flavor here at Coffee Talk Podcast, and we give honor, respect, appreciation, gratitude to our people. We really do. We are the new news media. We don't do no drama. We just uplift and empower our people because we are great. And we love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. All right. So tonight we finish our show with a poem by a great writer that also hails out of Harlem, New York City. His name is Mr. Langston Hughes, and I'm going to read the poem. Let's begin. The poem is titled, I Too. I Too. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody would dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am American. That is a poem, I Too Am American, by Mr. Langston Hughes. And if you want to know more about Mr. Langston Hughes, again, you could definitely go on YouTube and check out documentaries on Mr. Langston Hughes. If you're in any of the college campuses, he could be a great story if you're looking to write a paper on somebody during the Harlem Renaissance. You know, you could definitely focus on writing about Mr. Langston Hughes, again, one of ours, a great poet. But let us know what your thoughts are. How was the show? Go ahead and leave a comment. Again, we appear 3 times a week. We are a cultural variety podcast show, and this is our cultural studies night. So this is the flavor we like to give you. I would like to go ahead and throw up the universal peace sign to y'all, and I would like to say thank you for tuning into the show. We'll see y'all next time here at Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast. Peace.